Ladies and gentlemen, it's my last speech in competitive debating, so I'll try to make it as much fun as possible and try to lift up the somber mood after the onslaught that we saw from my previous speech. So let's go right away into what I want to discuss. The first thing I want to ask is, why do we go ahead with this policy? This is from his words. Apparently my team just told me that in his reply he'll come and repeat the words that he used in DM and say that we didn't respond to that. So I'm going to spend my each of them specifically and look at how we responded to that. So apparently the first thing we said was that there were many people in Africa with AIDS. There are actually many people in Africa who are Christian, and there are many people in Africa who currently have AIDS. So this never proved that firstly AIDS rates are increasing in Africa. Like, for all you know, and we agree with that fact. You see the church has been doing a lot of work in sub-Saharan Africa. AIDS rates have probably gone down. Like, this is as good as his word against mine, so I don't think you'll buy it though. Never mind that. The next thing I want to tell you is, given, fine, you believe me, Imran, that's great, okay? That shows that AIDS rates in Africa aren't only in fact. We say fine, there are lots of people there, there are lots of Christians, a lot of people with AIDS, but we've been doing good work. So they didn't prove why the church was causing this. We pushed them through like where the link or the reason, the charge against the church lies. First they started off by saying the church is spreading misinformation. Later they said that there is AIDS in Africa. He never proved why the church leading to the church arguing misinformation, which we don't accept, led to an increase in cases in Africa. Because increasingly, and this is something we told you repeatedly in our speeches, we say there are many reasons why people in Africa could have AIDS. We say the governments could be responsible, the West could be accused of inaction for all these years. We don't necessarily believe it's only these individuals. For all you know, you could just say that these individuals didn't follow the word of the church as well, because the church never told you the church always told you to abstain, and the church never told you to go ahead and for any other form other than to create something that's actually right. But never once did they even acknowledge it, leave a part rebutting it. We think we win on that front itself. The next thing we told you is what's the extension to this threshold. And I don't want to give you all the examples that we already brought out, because they didn't rebut a single one of them, except for the third speaker who took offense with the Sarah Palin name. We don't agree with that. We say if taking offense is like a threshold to prosecute people against crimes, to prosecute people of crimes against humanity, clearly something's wrong with that threshold and we need to change that. We think, and I think, I speak for this as well, I'm not a Roman Catholic, but I take offense to the fact that a Roman Catholic priest who works in Africa can be charged with crimes against humanity because of his selfless work in rescuing rape victims, in providing some form of aid to them, whether it is medical, psychological, or even that's good enough. And if I take offense at it, I think there are millions of Christians who take offense at it. There are millions of Western governments who take offense at it, when the church is allowed to say the same thing everywhere else in the world, and you're happy to even defend that. I would dare you in fact to say that charge them the same if you want to go ahead with such a policy. The last thing that we then told you was that the Vatican will pull out. And again, knowing these things, their only last analysis reasoning here was that these guys will still continue to work because they are missionaries. Let them prove their charge. It looks like the ICC has no work in this world to do. Apparently they can go and now start prosecuting priests. We say, and there's something I brought up as well. We told you there are a lot of other leaders as well who are going ahead with extraordinary harm. You haven't been able to even charge them, you can't gain political clout to go ahead and prosecute them. We gave numerous examples, no response from that side of the house to any of these. The next thing that we then spoke about is the freedom of religion. We told you regularly religion does things that offends people, like anything that religion does, and we don't restrict this to Christianity, but we say all religions can have certain acts, certain actions, or certain thoughts that can be perceived as causing misinformation, leading to causing harm, leading to being a crime against humanity, and therefore charge everyone in the world. Practically what you're saying is that charge anyone who has a faith, because somewhere the faith has offended someone, and somewhere that offense has led to a crimes against humanity. You're making this debate very shallow by defining crimes against humanity as people who indulge in selfless work only for the good of Africa. The only intent for the church to be there is in fact to make sure that less people die in Africa. There is no intention, and the church should definitely be not be prosecuted. Hail them in fact.